think it's truly important to look and think back and say, okay, in comparison of this giant, vast universe, we are so small. But truly, you are making a difference every day in your life and someone else's life for generations to come. Welcome to Mama Has Goals, your weekly reminder that you shouldn't have to sacrifice your dreams to take on the role of mom. I'm Kelsey Smith, mom of 2 boys, wife, and entrepreneur who's passionate about helping other moms, current and aspiring, to reimagine mom life. I'm bringing you the resources, support, and relatability to debunk that limiting belief that you may have about your ability to achieve your goals while raising a human. We're covering everything from mom guilt, marriage, relationships, careers, finances, mental health, physical health, you name it. Your life doesn't have to fully shift once you become a mom. You can have it all, and we'll show you how. I think there's this really crazy balance between knowing how small you are in the universe, but also how big of an impact you can make in the world. And it's really kind of like this teeter-totter seesaw, like balancing act of allowing yourself to know that you are here for a reason and you are going to make an impact that you may never see in the world and in your lifetime, but you have a very strong purpose here. But also, the universe is so vast and so big, and we are so small. When you talk about all the billions of galaxies and stars and planets in the universe, we are obviously so tiny in comparison, but also such a small act of you walking by someone on the street or walking and talking to someone in the grocery store, or how you choose to parent, or how you choose to interact with a friend or a family member or a stranger can change the world. And you may never know that. You may never know the impact that you had on someone changed their life, which in turn changed their generations to come, and truly, truly does matter. And this really comes back to the concept of the butterfly effect. And the butterfly effect is this idea that small actions can have large consequences. And the term was coined by mathematician and meteorologist Edward Lorenz, who discovered that small changes in initial conditions could result in vastly different outcomes and weather patterns. In popular culture, the butterfly effect has been used to describe how a single small action, like we've been talking about, or decision that you make can lead to unexpected or large consequences. And this comes back to this idea of a single act of kindness or a small change in behavior has this ripple effect out in so many other people in so many positive ways. A couple examples that you may be familiar of this with is Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr. These are people that made decisions to be an impact in the world and change the world for generations to come. They had this ripple effect by small steps that they chose to take, small ways that they showed up that created this ripple butterfly effect. Now, I want to talk to you about a couple people that this is also super true for that you might not know the names of. And one story is Jadav Pang, who began planting trees on a barren sandbar in India, created a 1,360 acre forest that is now home to tigers, elephants, and other wildlife. And that decision of planting one tree at a time in a sandbar has created an impact that many in that area see as very prolific and have impacted the animals and the environment in the area in so many different ways. Another example is Ryan Hurljack, who raised money to build a well for a village in Uganda. He, at 6 years old, didn't understand why these kids didn't have clean water, and he wanted to make a difference. His efforts sparked the creation of Ryan's Well Foundation and has now built over 1,000 water projects in 16 countries, starting as a 6-year-old. He's now only 15. And these stories show how small actions can create such a big change in the world and our own individual impact as well. So, in the grand scheme of things, like we've talked about, you can feel small and insignificant. But an example of someone just wanting to make a difference is Malala Yousafzai. And she began speaking out for girls and education in Pakistan when she was only 11 years old. Her activism earned her a nomination for the International Child's Peace Prize. And even after being shot by a Taliban gunman, she continued to advocate for education for girls. She actually went on to become the youngest ever Nobel Peace Prize laureate in 2014. And these are just examples of people truly seeing something that they wanted to do that had a large ripple effect and impact. Now, you might not be one of these people. You might not be the one that's creating these impacts. And that doesn't mean that you are insignificant. Maybe you're the great great grandma of the next Mother Teresa. Maybe you're the great great grandma of the next Ryan Hurljack that's going to be the 6-year-old to bring water to 16 countries. You don't know the impact that you're going to make. Maybe you smiling at someone today allows them to go on to be that person. Your impact may not look exactly like this, but it doesn't mean you're not making an impact. And that's really crazy. Like I was saying, some people see this as like woo spiritual, but I think it's truly important to look and think back and say, okay, in comparison of this giant, vast universe, we are so small. But truly you are making a difference every day in your life, in someone else's life for generations to come. And you have no reason to not allow yourself to believe that in your core, to believe that how you're spending time with yourself, how you're spending time with your family, the people in your household, that person on the street, that could change the world. And it truly can. It truly can when you think about it. And when you think about how these individuals in history that we talked about, or these people that you may not be as familiar with, how they got started, it was just by one decision to be curious about something or to show up as a kind human being as the best version of themselves. We're truly all connected, and every action that we take does affect others. These small actions do create positive change in our communities, in our households, and beyond. And, if you want to wake up every day and look at something horrible happening in the world, you can find it. You can definitely find horrible things happening every single day, but you can also find positive things happening every single day. And I truly believe that if we all just got really busy focusing on those small, little positive things that we can all do every day, you would impact each other person to create less and less and less negative in the world. And if you focus on the positive that's happening in your life, behind closed doors, out where you can see it, in the environment, then the things that you're seeing flash on the news, whether it's on your watch or your computer or your TV, highly recommend turning some of those notifications off. Unfortunately, a lot of that's happening out there, but there's also a lot of good. And you have the opportunity to help create a ripple effect that you may not see in your lifetime, but help create more good. So there is less bad. We need more good in this world. We need more good people. So I want to challenge you to think about it today, about this week. What is a way that you can show up and just create a little more good? What is a way that you can be an active role in the butterfly effect? How can you be the butterfly today in someone else's story and journey? How can you show up and say, okay, I know that I'm showing up in a good way today in this way? It might just be hanging out with your kids and making sure they're good little humans. It might be texting a friend or smiling at a stranger, buying someone a coffee. There's so many opportunities. But I think if every day you woke up and you asked yourself, how could I change someone else's life today? Or how could I be one small little ripple in the big ocean of the world? How could I create a positive ripple today? Just one thing. What would that be? I truly believe that this world would be a much better place if we all tried to do that. So let me know what that is for you. I want to know. I would love to share this either in the app or on social media. Again, sharing more positivity. So if you do something, maybe take a selfie of it, share it to your story and tag Mama Has Goals. And I'd love to share more of these positive ripple effects on our stories in the app and help encourage others to take just that small action. And I know this can feel hard when you're like, I'm just trying to take care of myself today. That's included. Like if you are saying, I'm just trying to show up for me today, that is a huge part of this positive ripple effect. That's a huge part for you to be able to caring for yourself so that you're not hurting others is very important. So that might be it. It might not actually directly impact anyone else today, but you caring for you impacts others as well. So sending you love, Can't wait to hear how this works out for you. And I'm going to share some of mine too. Love you. Tell a mom in your life that you see and love her by sharing this episode. Giving while your cup is overflowing always pays itself back tenfold when you need it most.